Business Express with Rotus Oddiri this morning. Good morning, Rotus.
Good morning, Omas. Good morning to everybody out there. Good to be with you all on a Thursday.
See where we are. See how when we attack Monday, see where we are right now. We just got one day separate from the weekend.
Just
already.
Like that.
Just
like that.
So, Rotus, a whole lot is lined up this morning. But before I get to you, let me quickly inform our clients that they would be willing to reach us up with messages. New and old clients come on board business, as Rotus will set the agenda this morning for us on 0809-444-0981. Once again on 0809-444-0981. That said, Rotus, this is not first on the table, but why do I have a feeling that every time I have a dream that I see you hovering around an electric vehicle somewhere around. As a matter of fact, last night I saw that you were charging an electric vehicle somewhere around Lagos. But hey, I don't know.
I wish it was me. I wish it was me, but it was not. The vehicle belonged to somebody else with a lot more money.
Okay.
But it was nice to at least see a car being charged. That's the electric vehicle charging station. So that was pretty interesting.
You know, Rotus, it makes sense. If you're a friend with someone who owns an electric vehicle, that means you are the second owner of an electric vehicle. So let's leave it at that. Let's get into this one.
Exactly.
So to the menu this morning, I understand that President Tinubu still in New York, away from the hunger issues address he made. I had time to go ring a bell. Tell us about that bell at Nasdaq and what the significance is all about.
Yeah, so the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, U.S. Africa Business Center hosted Tinubu at the Nasdaq market sites in Times Square. So basically, the president's bell ringing was part of the ceremony. Basically, with him being a participant in that event with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and basically it was supposed to, I guess, signify that Nigeria is open for business, that kind of thing.
Okay, that's just nothing. It doesn't affect the price of the naira, dollar, anything. It's just go ring bell and that's all.
Man, by the way, you know that one is at 950 or so? Yeah. So no, it doesn't. Unfortunately not. Unfortunately not.
So that activity yesterday now mirrors what's happening back home. So it helps us to reflect on our own stock exchange, and people back home say not enough business are being listed on the Nigerian stock exchange, or NGX as it's now called. So why is that so?
I guess because they don't have enough incentives in order to do so. For you to list on an exchange, you have to be incentivized, and you have to feel that the benefits of being on that exchange are enough for you to say, okay, yes, I want to be part of this. So am I going to get enough shareholders? Am I going to raise a lot of money? We've seen some IPOs on the US exchange in just the last, I think, 3 days or so. We've seen about 3 of them between last week, I think Thursday or Friday, and then today. So we had the UK chip designing company ARM Holdings, that one listed on the IPO. They raised about 5 billion, or is it 6 billion? Then we had, I think, another company called Instacart, which is a company that helps to assemble food items and deliver to people's homes. Then another company called Klaviyo. That was yesterday. Klaviyo helps with, I think, marketing also, marketing for businesses. So 3 different businesses listing on the US. There was like a 12, 18-month drought there, but you come to the US markets because you're going to raise a lot of money. You'll be trading on an exchange that is very liquid. You can, shares can be traded in and out. There's incentives for that. For a UK company to be like ARM Holdings, which is backed by SoftBank, to pick the US instead of the UK where it's based. That kind of thing tells you the competition between the different markets around the world. So Nigeria is unfortunately not there. We haven't had that many IPOs on our own exchange. So it's about incentives and benefits.
Let's hope that, because the president also in his address to the United Nations General Assembly mentioned that Nigeria is ready for business. But the question is not about Nigeria being open for business, about how much business the world is ready to do with Nigeria and Africa. that in itself is something I'd like you to speak on.
That is correct. And Nigeria has to make herself attractive to the rest of the world in order to be able to, for them to come to do business. So you mentioned the Naira dollar issues. That thing, I mean, it's that, it's on the INE window is about 770 or so, but on the parallel markets is about 940, or is it 950? No, was it 980? I think it's even, wait, I think it's 980. Oh, sorry, it's 980. Sorry, it's not. Parallel market closed at 980 yesterday. That's what was making the headline. So there's, if for companies that are seeing that disparity, they want more, they want an exchange rate that is going to be more unified. Now, I know that steps are being made or steps are being taken to do that. We've got a nomination for a new central bank governor. I'm not sure if we'll have MPC meeting next week, but things like that. So the exchange rate is one thing, power is another, security is another. Those are the kind of things Nigeria has to do to make herself, to fix up, to make herself more attractive for companies to come in and, to be able to do business and then list on her exchange as well.
But then this brings us to the fact that Nigeria's stock market is up by about 30%. So isn't this growth in itself, when you compare year to date, and then is that in line with the fundamental or the funds in the economy?
Well, I mean, the exchange is supposed to reflect the economy. And some people have suggested that it might be disconnected from the wider economy because if you're up 30% year to date, that suggests that, the market is vibrant and the market has, a lot of upside and so on. But, the reality is that it's not really driven by a mix of foreign and local investors. It's mostly all local investors. You've got an issue with repatriating funds out of Nigeria. And it's only a handful of stocks that are driving that upside. It's not like the entire, you're looking like less than 20, and then there's even maybe even, you can even reduce that number further. So it's not really that reflective of the wider economy, in my view.
Can you touch on some of those sectors, for example, that you see being core actors in the Nigerian stock exchange?
So the financials, for example, the banks, the banks have done very well as a result of the devaluation of the Naira. So they are something called, FX revaluation gains. They've made a lot of money, basically with the same amount of dollars that were priced at 460, now being priced at, 770 or 750 or so. So that has fueled, the profit margins of these, especially the tier one banks. They've done very well. Then you've got I would say the industrials, and that's on, that's on the promise of infrastructure projects coming in the near future, because Nigeria has such an infrastructure deficit. So if one wants to tell you which sectors to look at, they'll tell you financials one, they will tell you industrials two, then maybe downstream petroleum, downstream petroleum sector. So, stocks that have, fuel stations, because of fuel subsidies and the fact that their profit margins have jumped because of that. So there will be reasons here and there, but, if you look at consumer goods now, inflation is an issue. The pocket of the average Nigerian, can they buy that many consumer goods? So it's a mixed bag, but there are some sectors that are doing okay.
I got a couple of questions more before we come to the close of the show, but then it's time to invite our messages at this time, 0809-444-0981. We're taking messages anytime from now, 0809-444-0981. Now, why is it that the Nigerian Stock Exchange is driven by mostly domestic companies?
Well, domestic investors rather. So
Yes.
what you've seen is foreign participants in the market, they haven't been able to get their money out. So they're either recycling money that they cannot get out into the markets, or just staying on the sidelines. And it's been mostly domestic investors that have been, been trading on the markets. So that is just a reflection of the FX backlog and the fact that, it's not just the stock exchange seeing that issue. It is the aviation sector as well. So that is one of the main reasons why you're not seeing that much foreign participation in the stock market.
We understand the dollar backlog is still there to be cleared. So, and then we're expecting the MPC meeting might not hold. So what could be responsible for this?
Well, it's because I think there a new CBN, a new nominee, and you have a new nominee for CBN governor. And I think the Senate is reconvening next week, if that's correct. So he might be confirmed. That's Mr. Olayemi Cardozo. So he might be confirmed next week. So they don't want to have a meeting. I think it's supposed to be Monday and Tuesday that we're getting the MPC meeting, the Monetary Policy Committee meeting. So, but he might not be confirmed until maybe Wednesday or Thursday. So they want him confirmed, and I guess they want him to be in charge at the very first meeting they have. So there's a chance that they might move the meeting back to accommodate him being confirmed, and then him taking over and being at the next Monetary Policy Committee meeting. But look, he's facing the same challenges anybody else is going to be facing at the CBN. FX supply, FX backlog, monetary policy that is not doing anything to impact inflation. Yeah. So he has his challenges out for him.
And this, for me, just help me understand, get a sense of this, and the listener also. When new CBN, new finance ministers or CBN governors now brought on board, does that have the way of affecting or directing how the markets move for that day, or probably as they come on board?
Well, I mean, not really, because the markets understand what the challenges are. So, I guess if his first speech or his first, monetary policy meeting might move the markets, maybe there might be some encouragement there. But Nigeria's fundamentals, we all know what the issues are. So unless we see massive FX inflows that can impact supply, I'm not sure the markets are going to be moved much by the new sheriff in town, because they know the challenges he has, and they kind of feel that those challenges are kind of out of his hands, unless, of course, we get an influx of FX supply. The fundamentals are known, so that's not really going to move. Him alone is not going to move the markets like by themselves.
And the messages from the clients are piling up already, so let's quickly get them out of the way before we say thank you, Rotus, this morning. So I got this one in here from Wenga Kamu. And this one, it says, Rotus, how come the banks are doing so well, but manufacturing is struggling? Are banks not supposed to support the real sector? Benga Kamu, what is the government doing about the fundamentals? That's what he's asking here.
Real quick, manufacturing sector is facing FX supply issues. They are import dependent. They are facing erratic power supply, multiplicity of taxes. So all those things there's not much the banking sector can do in that regard. And then loans are really high. Loans are expensive. So that's another issue.
Then comes in Yinka Bulu with his own. He says, it goes on. Omas, and the second-hand owner of the EV, electric vehicle, talking about incentives. Don't you guys think it is high time, the CBN have a sit down with banks and BDCs to discuss? Because this is almost 200 naira disparity in FX rates. It's not helping the economy. The banks are still engaged in this act, and it's perplexing. That's in Kabulu.
Yep. Well, it has to be addressed.
Then comes in a message from Babatunde Alao saying economic theories may not really apply to Nigeria. So the growth you see in stock exchange may not really have direct impact on the economy. Monies are being recycled, as you alluded to, within the stock markets, and only very few organizations are responsible for the growth we perceive. Usual suspects, you can name them, Rotus, you know them, and drives the NGX. Whatever will not affect price of pepper, good roads, employment opportunities, reduction in transport fare, etc., and not growth in economy. Then comes in Taiwo. No comment on the new way of submitting application for microfinance licensing.
Oh, sorry. Yes. I think it's called what's the acronym? LARP or something. So between now and December, you can still submit your applications. Thank you for reminding me. I totally forgot. Between now and December, you can submit applications physically and online, side by side. But I think from the new year, what is that? Okay, yes, it is the licensing, approval, and other request portal, CBN LARP. Thank you so much for that message. So yes, the CBN wants to go digital and start taking applications for microfinance banks. And they say they want to take those other licenses online in the future for other things. So thank you. See, these are our clients.
Your clients, Tayo. Yeah, that's it. So he's the client of the morning of the show this morning. So let's get AEC. The AEC says banks aren't really doing well. The current gains are nominal at best, and with time, will be eaten up by operating environment. AE's final message. Rotus,
he's accurate. It's accurate. Our clients are awesome. I appreciate their messages as usual.
Have a great day, Rotus.
Thanks so much. Catch you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Bye. And that's the sides of Business Express this morning. My name is Omatseye. Good morning. Nice.